The AeroPress is one of the best inventions of the past quarter century. And I know that that sounds like a lot, but it does everything so perfectly, from its durable plastic construction to the exact length of the stir stick that allows you to stir your coffee without disrupting your filter. It is basically flawless. So what is there to possibly improve in a premium version? Well, that's what we're here to find out. The AeroPress Premium. It's just like the AeroPress you know and love, but premium. What makes it premium? Well, apparently it does the exact same thing using the exact same patented processes of the original AeroPress, but now it's in aluminum, stainless steel, and double-walled borosilicate glass, which is actually pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, borosilicate is like the capital all caps Pyrex, which is super durable and handles heat shock really well. Lowercase Pyrex is a lime glass and it sucks. I will say that this is some premium presentation. We got magnets on the box, and once we remove a piece of foam, pull out our manual, we get the AeroPress in all of its glory. I thought it was broken for a second. This is just a tag, and it looks nice. Like I do appreciate that. And oh my gosh, it's heavy. It comes with a bunch of filters. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's a plenty. We get a nice stainless steel filter cap, and that's pretty much everything that's in the box is right here. It looks very nice. And apparently it's handmade glass. I don't really know what that means, but one would hope that if you're gonna be mass producing a cylindrical object, you'd want to make it from a mold. But they do ask you to place gently on countertop. There might be some variations, and it is hand wash only. Wow, interesting. All of those don't sound like features, they sound like inconveniences that I didn't have to deal with on my old plastic AeroPress. In the top, we have our scoop for our coffee, as well as our stir stick, which, do you see how it's like kind of pressed in like that? That kind of seems less premium to me. While I don't mind that it gives a little bit of extra grip at the top, the fact that it's just like, they use this to give it extra durability to prevent it from bending, but it's still a very thin piece, but it feels a little underbaked. Same thing when you look at this with this scoop. If you can look closely, you can see that there's welds there. Well, probably it's plenty enough for the use case of this, which is scooping coffee. It just looks not very premium. I have measuring cups that look nicer than this, especially even ones that use metal stamping on the back to get the actual bond done instead of a weld. So far, I'm not super impressed, but I do love the look of it. Inside we have the plunger. I feel like I've gotten into this without really talking about what the an AeroPress even is. And Bell rushed me. Let's take it back a second. What the hell is an AeroPress? The AeroPress is a coffee maker, famous because it was so well designed and also very cheap, about $40 for the original version. To make coffee in an AeroPress is pretty simple. You take your filter, you place it in the cap screws onto the bottom, and then you can place that on the cup or whatever you're going to be putting it in. This is the plunger. It comes with a silicone rubber cap at the end that allows for a tight air seal so that you can press down the water through your coffee. Let's just go through it by making a cup right now. The AeroPress does come with instructions and a recipe for how to make coffee in the AeroPress. I don't really like the coffee that comes out of it using these instructions. I prefer the recipe by James Hoffman. He's an award-winning barista and famous coffee YouTuber. One of the cool things about the AeroPress is that flexibility. Basically, unlike a lot of other coffee creation methods, you can kind of control every single parameter really easily. You can control the heat of your water by using a kettle. You can control the amount of time that you brew. It looks weird that I'm just pulling this from a Ziploc bag, but it's just because it's the coffee I ground at home. You take a scoop out, the number of scoops you put in will correspond to the number here, and that will tell you how much water to put in. So we're putting in 1 scoop because we're just making 1 cup. We'll pour in our coffee now. I put in more coffee, more than 1, that's okay. If you want to follow the instructions, you put in the same amount. I like to let it sit for a little bit, then I will stir it with the stirring rod. So on top of the premium AeroPress, you can also get a nice stainless steel organizer, which I think is really, really silly in a way, because one of the cool things about how the original AeroPress works and how this one works as well, as you saw how it was packed, is that here is everything I need. It's stored I've put it away. I guess, sorry, I don't have a place for my filters. And actually, the original AeroPress came with a storage container for my filters. It also came with a funnel. So the original AeroPress came with this. It came with a little caddy for your filters that this sits into so that your filters sit under here. It's already part of the package. And for the premium version, they took out 2 things. So now if you want to use this new premium AeroPress with your travel mug that might be a little thinner than a coffee mug or thinner than this, you have to make your own filter, and it's hexagonal, so it's not gonna sit that well in a normal funnel. Also, you might not wanna use a normal funnel. This was already so freaking good.
Future Adam here. I just found out that they don't actually ship the AeroPress with the funnel or the filter holder anymore. I guess it's a cost-cutting measure that happened once the company was acquired. I'll talk more about that later.
And it was $40. Anyways, let's get back to making the coffee. We're gonna give it a little stir. I do say it's more entertaining to watch because you can see through the glass. Though you can get a clear version of the plastic AeroPress. Now that it's stirred, we'll let that sit. I need a paper towel. One of the things I like about how the AeroPress makes coffee is that it kind of is a blend between the French press as well as having a filter. What you'll find with a French press is that it gives more acidity and body as it maintains more of the oils that would usually be captured in a filter. The downside of that is that you also get the kind of grime and the tiny little bits at the bottom of your cup. But I'm a fan of that extra full body and acidity, but your mileage may vary. So now we press it down. So the James Hoffman strategy is, if there's any resistance, just give it a second. You just kind of want to keep it at constant pressure. Some people, if you want to make it fast, in 30 seconds, you just press it down. The air is now going to be pushing all of the water out through the coffee, through the bottom of the filter. And here is our coffee. We'll see if it's any good after this segment from our sponsor.
Thanks to Greenman Gaming for sponsoring this video. The launch of Doom: The Dark Ages is right around the corner, but don't let the price hurt you plenty. Save 17% today by reserving a copy at greenmangaming.com. One of the most anticipated releases of the year, Doom: The Dark Ages puts you in the shoes of the Doom Slayer as he rips and tears through the forces of hell in the next installment of the iconic FPS series. And if that's not really your style, Greenman Gaming also has sales on hot titles like Elden Ring Night Reign and Oblivion Remaster. So dust off your BFG and use our link in the description to get 17% off Doom: The Dark Ages today. You'll even get 2 days of advanced access if you buy the premium edition.
This is my favorite part of the AeroPress experience, is when you get to take off the little puck. There you go. Take the plunger out, rinse the bottom of it out with some water, wipe it with a paper towel if you're worried about the grounds going down the drain, and you're basically good to go. I would recommend washing it like once a week, but because of the plunger, it actually just kind of like cleans itself. I pulled it up with some grinds on it, but like you can see that it's basically clean on the inside, so you don't have to wash it that frequently. You can't put this one in the dishwasher. You can put this one in the dishwasher. Also, something else I have not thought about was the fact that there has to be a caution, maybe hot warning on this because it's metal and you are dealing with boiling or close to boiling hot water. Something that the plastic handles really well on this, where it's relatively thermally resistant. So even if I have I'm making 4 cups of AeroPress with this, I don't have to worry that much about heat. It looks like it's double walled borosilicate glass, so there is some level of insulation. It might just be the puck at the end if you had a longer brewing time that you might want to be concerned about in terms of your safety. Outside of that, I don't know what to say. I'm just not super impressed, and it's probably not gonna brew better coffee. I'm just gonna top this off with some extra hot water. It just makes good coffee. And as I said, I'm not even using a specific recipe. I didn't even actually time it because I can kind of do this by feel now because I've made it so many times. I have a good idea of how to make coffee that I like. And because it's so easy to control all of the variables here, you can find a way to make coffee that really resonates with you using beans that you like, or maybe beans that you don't like, and you can save it by just being able to easily fiddle with your settings. It's very smooth, it's not oily thanks to the filter. Again, there's a benefit to the filter paper that allows no grounds to get through, which allows you to experiment with grind size. You don't want a super fine grind like an espresso grind with your AeroPress because you can't get that much pressure when you are pushing this down. But also a coarse grind will worsen your extraction. So they usually recommend kind of like a medium fine grind. Again, something that you can experiment with. But how does it compare to the old AeroPress? I think it's going to be the exact same. One thing to note, there's nothing premium about these filters. They are the same ones that would come with your normal $40 AeroPress. But they do make a stainless steel reusable filter. And I'm kind of surprised that they didn't bundle that in as well. Sure, there's something to be said about, oh, the taste as well as the ease of like cleaning it and stuff. Like filter paper is just like, as you saw, super satisfying. But it is a little bit more wasteful. It just feels like they're not trying that hard to make it a premium experience outside of making it glass and metal, which kind of just makes it less portable, less washable, more fragile. This almost certainly won't break from a drop. This, there is a risk. Let's get this coffee brewing. While we wait for this coffee to cool down, let's talk about why they may have created a premium version. For a long time, about 15-ish years, there was no new version of this except for when they switched away from a BPA containing plastic. Then in like 2019, they introduced the AeroPress Go, which is smaller and comes with a sealed mug specifically for camping and stuff like that. But then after years of running a company, the inventor decided that he wanted out and sold the company to a private holding firm called Tiny. And now they've released this premium AeroPress. And to me, it feels entirely like a cash grab. It comes with less stuff than the original. It does nothing more than the original. It is less durable, less convenient, larger, harder to travel with. You're more likely to burn yourself with this. And here's the kicker. So the original AeroPress is $40. And this premium version, how much do you think it costs? Maybe $100 US? Try this, 180, 4.5 times more expensive. And what the hell are you getting? Flimsy aluminum components, a worse experience, it's insane.
Future Adam here again. Now, you might be concerned about microplastics, and I don't know enough to really speak on that. So if that's something you're concerned about, well, then maybe a glass AeroPress might be up your alley. I don't think it's really gonna be an issue, but
it's 100% a cash grab. It looks great on Instagram, but I've had this for 5 years. I've used it probably more than twice a day, almost every day. It still works flawlessly. The only thing I'm thinking about getting for it is a new seal, but usually people expect those to last around 8 years, okay? You could buy one of these for every place that you work or visit frequently for the price of an AeroPress Premium, and guess what? It tastes the exact same. So please, just don't buy this. And if you know anybody who's thinking about getting this, please tell them not to and just get a normal AeroPress. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this short circuit, maybe you'll enjoy our unboxing of the Ninja Creamy. It's an ice cream maker, but like not? It's weird, it's cool.